What's going on, guys? Ryan back again with Michigan Storm Chasers for a forecast update video. We talked on yesterday's video how this system for Saturday could be trending down, and that does appear to be the case, but there are some exceptions here. We could see a decent snowfall for portions of Michigan. Let's go ahead and break this down. Starting with what's on your screen currently, this is a short-term model for future radar here in Michigan. I want to take note and highlight two areas. And I'm going to reason with you why this is important. We have one area down here. We have one area up here. So we have a northern phase and a southern phase. Why I'm highlighting these two areas is what's forecasted to happen is these two areas of energy, we're going to call them, they're supposed to meet somewhere in Michigan. Where exactly they meet is going to determine how much precipitation South Michigan is going to get. So when you have these systems meeting, this is midnight tonight on the model here. I'm going to fast forward this into the early Saturday time frame here. We'll go ahead and put it right about here. You see how this moisture is getting pulled north, and we have a system up here coming south. This one's coming south. This one's kind of getting pulled north into it. You see how there's a gap of precipitation here across Wisconsin, Illinois, Indiana, Michigan in a circled area. That is why we're watching it, because as long as these two systems don't come together until they're out of Michigan, that's going to leave a pretty wide gap of precipitation of nothing happening here in South Michigan. We're going to watch this very carefully. Go ahead and move this forward again into Saturday morning here. This is at 7 a.m. on the model. We're getting our first snowflakes up in the western part of the UP. Let's go forward to noon. All right, we're going to stop it right about here. Here is noon. And notice how this system is still just trying to phase together here just to the west of Michigan. And that's going to track across Michigan here throughout Saturday afternoon. Here's 1 p.m., 2 p.m., 3 p.m. Stop it right there. Notice how there's a gap here in Michigan. These systems don't properly come together. They're close, but just doesn't really come together to meet for a big system until it's outside of Michigan. Now, this is 3 p.m. Here's 4 p.m. here, 5 p.m., 6 p.m. It finally meets together, so there's no gap in precip as it's in Ontario, in Pennsylvania, New York areas. Moving that into the evening time frame, there's midnight right about here. It's out of the state, leaving us with lake effect snow showers for localized areas. So moving in very early Saturday, the bulk of it's going to fall Saturday afternoon and evening. And the big question mark is just how fast these two systems can come together, because as we can see here, it doesn't really happen until after Michigan, but still, precip is likely. We have a full forecast to go over with you guys. I'm going to go ahead and start this with the first forecast for precip arrival time. It's a little bit of a complicated map here because these systems are complicated. We have really two areas to watch. So before 7 a.m. arrival for the western UP and perhaps areas across western lower Michigan, the yellow zone, 1 to 4 a.m. This is tonight, by the way. So Saturday morning, today's Friday, so late Friday night, early Saturday morning, into the sunrise part of Saturday. So green zones, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Then they're in the blue and purple in central southern Michigan there, 1 to 4 p.m. tomorrow, and then 3 p.m. plus in that purple zone. It's a very complicated setup here. These are approximate times for precip arrival. They're not, take it as a grain of salt here. They're just estimates. It's not going to be perfect, but this is when you should expect your first flakes or raindrops to fall here. So with that being said, move on to the snow forecast. We upped our totals 3 to 7 inches for portions in the southwest part of the UP. Northern lower as well, from Traverse City over to Mayo, West Branch, Grayling, Gaylord areas. Further south, though, going with a trace to an inch there for Grand Rapids over to Lansing, Kalamazoo areas. All other areas 1 to 3, and then if you're close to 3 to 7, you could get into 2 to 4 zones there in lighter blue color, but generally speaking 1 to 4 inches elsewhere outside dark blue or white zones. We did highlight the zone of uncertainty in yellow just because there's a lot of uncertainty with how fast these systems are going to meet together. We'll have to keep an eye on that. Overall, we're not seeing a big difference either way, but I will say we are tracking some ice potential as well. So taking this off, going into the ice, we're going trace to a 0.05 of an inch here across basically the 96 and 94 corridors as a precaution. Now, will every area here in this map in pink get ice? Probably not. I do think the areas further east toward Detroit, Ann Arbor, Port Huron, you guys will probably have a higher chance at getting some mixed precip and some ice accumulation there. But either way, it's not going to be a huge ice storm. It's going to be just an inconvenience, nice glaze of ice here across primarily southeast Michigan. But just because we're highlighting the west part, we're going to be safe with that. Just keep in mind a lot of uncertainty goes into this forecast. Now, we do have traffic maps up as well. Again, take it with a grain of salt because we are expecting some areas to be missed out with the phasing happening after Michigan. So west side of Michigan, like Holland areas, you may be okay. We're going green over there, low impacts. Elsewhere, though, medium impacts, so just expect some slick travel in localized areas. If you're on 94 toward Detroit Metro, you could be looking at a bit higher impacts just because of travel, rush hour time frame there, and also the timing of the precip arrival there could make for some slick conditions on 94 there in Detroit, but otherwise pretty much medium impacts across the state. Going further north into northern lower, we're going red pretty much all across that area because mainly due to snow. Some areas may see medium impacts as well, but generally speaking, high impact up there. The highest of this event impacts up there in further northern lower Michigan. And then finally, the UP, their map here remains pretty much yellow, an exception of southwest where we could have those higher accumulations of snow causing some higher impact to travel. So that is your full forecast package here for you guys. Again, time frame for this is going to be roughly late tonight, 1 a.m. in parts of Michigan. For the most of you guys further west, or should I say further east in the lower part of Michigan, should be later on in the morning hours, if not early afternoon on Saturday. Again, all this stuff will be posted on our Facebook page here this afternoon. So with that being said, biggest uncertainty, again, with the two systems meeting together, we could see some people get missed here in Michigan. So highlight that uncertainty as well. With that being said, I'm going to pop out of here. Before I do, shout out to today's sponsor of the video. We're going Pro Powder today out of South Haven. Powder coating needs 269-637-8722. Thank you as always to Pro Powder for sponsoring today's Michigan Storm Chasers YouTube video. I will catch you guys tomorrow on another update video as I go blurry. I apologize for that. I'll catch you guys tomorrow on another update video. You guys stay safe and travel safe. Stay warm out there.